Yeah, just back off for me and I can say to him.
Back off! You can't die!
That just took it to another level.
Welcome to the World of Self-Defense Challenge, where we take 6 competitors and pit them against each other in realistic self-defense and safety challenges. As day 1 of the challenge begins, the competitors begin to arrive at the new Western Combatives headquarters at Sharper Fitness Penrith. Let's meet them. Kevin is a social media superstar with almost 1 million followers on TikTok, but he has no martial arts experience.
I come from a security background. I've worked security on the weekends for the past year now, so I think I know how to de-escalate situations. I know how to talk myself out of dangerous situations. Second thing is I'd probably say my athletic background. I've been playing a lot of sports growing up since I was 7, 8 years old, so I feel like I know things about movement and that sort of field in terms of these physically demanding scenarios. My height and weight, I have that advantage amongst I think everyone inside. So, but even still, this is a fighting competition, and those guys are phenomenal at what they do in their craft. But I think that's where I would have to have my edge there. So, size and strength definitely matters.
Size, it's not relevant. If you've got the skill, you've got the basics, you can get yourself out of any situation.
Yeah, g'day, my name's Dylan. I spend most of my free time training in boxing, competing at an amateur level. For a living, I climb and cut trees down. My secret weapon that'll help me prevail in this competition can be my size. Most people underestimate small people. I think size is a big determining factor in any sort of fight, whether it's combat sports or out on the street. But I reckon my small stature and some speed gonna help me get out of situations and preserve my own life.
My name is Nikola Depoja. I practice Pakiti Tershakali. I'm a father and I do support and mental health work. I think what will help me to succeed is the weapons of opportunity. So if I find a weapon on the ground or anything on the ground, I will use that as a weapon. I got that from training Pakiti Tershakali. We do Filipino martial art. It is the best martial art in the world. Nothing is better.
My name's Adrian. I've been training martial arts and combatives for 4 years. I believe my training, along with my situational awareness and my street smarts, will help me throughout this series. I think my secret weapon would be my attention to detail. I think that will also help me get through this series as well.
My name is Mitch Langman. I own and operate Dark Carnival Martial Arts. Love Muay Thai, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, self-preservation work, red zone threat management. And jumping into this competition, I look forward to it. I think I've got the skill set to back me up with it. I like to think that I can handle myself, so here's my test. What do I think is my secret weapon that will help me prevail in this challenge? Comedy and humour, sarcasm in particular. No, red zone threat management training and years of it, and being able to run scenarios, understand scenarios.
My name is Nathan Sloane. I'm from Port Macquarie, New South Wales. I've done Hapkido, a lot of Jiu-Jitsu, MMA, Wing Chun, boxing. My secret weapon to prevail in this is probably my modified soft skills, I think, from studying things like verbal judo. A lot of the game-changing knowledge that I've gotten and studied, so unusual techniques, unusual striking mechanics that people might not be as used to. I'm very creative and I think a lot, so maybe that analytical edge will get me over the line well.
Jeff Phillips is the primary facilitator of this challenge. He is the head coach of Western Combatives, a former fighter and a violence prevention manager, and the creator of the Ultimate Self-Defense Championship. Mick Coup is also one of the facilitators of this challenge.
This is more impacting.
He is the founder of Core Combatives. Having an extensive background in a multitude of fighting systems, active military service, and specialist security operations, Mick Coup provides in-depth and comprehensive tuition in personal protection, safety, and security based only on reality and empirical knowledge.
Has to work on somebody who, A, doesn't know me, B, doesn't like me, C, has no interest in making me look good.
The first challenge will require competitors to team up in order to escape or incapacitate an active shooter. But before they do, they need to be kitted out in their gear.
Competitors also got to try on and select equipment to be used for the week from our sponsor SMAI, based in Fairy Meadow, New South Wales. Our relationship with SMAI is a valued part of the challenge, as their equipment allows us to push the envelope in terms of intensity whilst maintaining safety. We also had a medic on hand, not only on day one, but through the entire competition. And on this particular day, he conducted physical and mental health screening and appraisal, just to make sure that everyone was physically and mentally capable of performing the demanding tasks that were to come.
David Stein is a paramedic, a former fighter, former bouncer, and the owner of one of the first mixed martial arts gyms in Australia.
Unfortunately, these days in the health industry, the frontline staff especially, you're going to be exposed to violence. So if you've had some sort of exposure at least to someone coming at you with bad intentions, then that helps a lot.
With all competitors successfully passing the medical assessment, they are ready for their first challenge, which will require them to work together in order to escape or defeat an active shooter. It's time for our competitors to begin their journey to the first event of this challenge. This event will be taking place at Die Hard Paintball, a sponsor of this challenge. Die Hard Indoor Paintball is Australia's biggest and best multi-level indoor paintball field. Their field runs over 3 split levels and can house up to 50 players at one time. This facility will be used to put our competitors through extremely unique challenges involving complex scenarios, involving the use of firearms and blades.
To score points in this series, you need a podium finish. That is, you need to finish first, second, or third. If you don't, no points will be awarded. If you finish in first place, you get 3 points, second place 2 points, and third place one point. And then for the smaller drills, the less complex scenarios, we just have a win-loss, 1 point for a win, 1 for a loss. And if someone does something that's, very impressive, we'll give them another point.
As our competitors make their way to the facility, let's take a look at the prize that's up for grabs.
So we chose the shield as the prize, pretty much because, first of all, it's pretty damn cool, first and foremost. Second of all, it's unique to what we do. A shield is primarily a defensive weapon, and we're talking about self-defense, where we want people to try and utilize defense more so than attack in this series, so to try and resolve issues via conflict resolution and other means, rather than going physical all the time. So it was very fitting for that. And the final reason is because when I do my work, corporate work, I talk about physical self-defense, and I use this to represent a shield. Now the problem is that most people face, particularly where I work in healthcare. First of all, the majority of the people, this shield gets a little bit smaller because of their temperament, first of all. So nurses and doctors and people like that are non-combative people. They're caring people by nature, so that puts them behind the 8 ball. On top of that, if you factor in size, if they're small in stature, which the majority are, how physically capable they are. Do you train outside of this? Do you go to the gym? Do you do those things? Obviously the bigger, stronger and faster you are, the easier it is to defend yourself physically than if you don't have those skills. On top of that, you might factor in as well, gender might be another issue. Luck plays another part. Then you have workplace restrictions. So there's things you can and can't do. You're trying to protect the person as well as trying to defend yourself from them, which is kind of difficult to do. So the more and more you look at it, that shield gets smaller and smaller and smaller by the second. That's why it's so vital that people that work in these fields need to really have a good sense of conflict resolution, have great communication skills via de-escalation, situational awareness, so all those soft skills are pertinent for them to remain safe.
Contestants began to arrive at the venue, and as they entered the Die Hard paintball facility, they took a seat in the waiting area, nervously waiting to hear what the first test would be. Before we get started, every self-defense situation carries significant consequences if not managed properly. In addition to the physical risks to persons and/or property, it is crucial to act within the legal boundaries of your local jurisdiction, as the wrong response may lead to incarceration. It is highly recommended that individuals familiarize themselves with the relevant laws in their local area, as well as anywhere they may visit. In New South Wales, Australia, where this series occurs, there are more stringent regulations compared to other parts of the world. Here is a brief description of the legal constraints within which the participants must conduct themselves in. In summary, you are allowed to defend yourself, others, and property where it is necessary. Each case is unique, so there are no fixed outcomes or absolutes. Some people are charged for the same crimes others aren't. You must be able to justify your actions using these key phrases. 1. Were my actions reasonable and necessary under the circumstances? 2. Was the response proportionate? 3. Did the response cease when the threat subsided? 4. Self-defense implements such as Kubotans or tactical pens have legal consequences. If you purchase them, there is premeditation, a big risk. 5. The onus of proof is on the prosecution. They must prove your actions were not in self-defense. 6. Only use physical intervention if absolutely necessary. If there is an exit, take it. Now, back to the show.
So the active shooter scenario, now this is a big issue in other parts of the world and not so much in Australia. But the fact of the matter, it does happen from time to time here.
A man is recovering in hospital this morning after being shot while riding a bike through Cranebrook.
He was also shot in the chest. Opens fire, catching 2 police officers off guard.
The woman inside the car was pointing a gun at the man driving.
Witnesses rush for cover into surrounding stores.
And also, you know, we're at Die Hard Paintball. You're not going to not use the guns, you know what I mean? So it was an obvious choice for a scenario. So Craig, as the gunman, starts out by, you know, creating a sense of hysteria by opening fire on members of the public, and they're all dropping left, right, and centre around him. And the competitors who are in pairs at this point are standing behind watching this all unfold. And once it all starts, they run and hide from Craig, and they've got 2 things they need to do. They need to take out Craig, first of all. Well, the second of all, they need to escape through, there's one entry and exit point, which at the start of it, Craig actually locks with a padlock and chain, and he drops the lanyard on the floor. Now on that lanyard, there are 5 keys, which are kind of similar. And what we're doing here is testing that notion of fine motor skills deteriorating under stress. So you've seen the horror movies where people go to start a car and they drop the keys and all of that kind of thing. So we want to test that out a little bit. So we threw that one in.
It was time for our first competitors to step up into the arena. First up was Kevin and Nate. In the event of an active shooter, in Australia, the government encourages the escape, hide, tell protocol. That is, escape or move quickly from the danger, hide and stay out of sight of the assailant, and tell the police by dialing 000 when safe to do so. The UK adopts a similar approach, being run, hide, and tell, which is basically the same thing. Nate seemed to be safe for now, but Jeff threw in a curveball.
Every competitor has a phone on them, so during all the scenarios, so that they can alert authorities and various other things. But in this time, if they were walking around and hiding, and let's say Craig was near them, I'd actually I'd call their phone so it would ring to alert Craig to where they are. Because if you're trying to hide and escape and evade, one of the first things you need to do is pretty much turn your phone on silent, because it will alert the person that you're hiding from where you are.
couldn't see the key. Oh, I thought it was the orange thing around there. I thought there was a second trick to it and that there wasn't a key.
Kevin managed to pick up an improvised weapon but was eliminated in the process. Nathan successfully kept tabs on and evaded the shooter, and although his phone wasn't on silent, he did quickly adapt to the phone call. And although he did not escape or incapacitate the shooter, he survived until the end of the exercise. This leaves Nate in first place with Kevin in second.
Guys, tell me about the scenario. What did you see when you first came in? What happened?
So first things first, I've seen 2 people get shot as soon as the active shooter came in.
Same thing. I seen the same exact situation happen, but I kept
two guys got shot, yeah?
I kept my head here at the start because I was aware that something was going to happen, just not sure what.
What did you know about this area, this environment?
My mindset was if I get to that door and I'm not careful.
So you knew there was an exit?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I tried to get there.
But you went straight for the known exit. What did you do?
I saw someone drop too, so I decided, you know, it's time to take at least a step back. Very much behind this boulder thing here and that post there.
Gotcha.
And as I was thinking, you know what, maybe I'll slowly walk around and see if there might be a second shoot or something. I didn't know what was going on. Walking to it. I think he just saw me because I felt a shot go right by my head.
You got tagged, yeah.
And then I got hit in the back.
I was trying to just create as much distance as I could between my shooter and the cell phone number.
But when you got to that exit though, why didn't you go through it?
Because I wasn't sure where the key was. I think I heard him come up this way at one point, and I said, if I walk around this corner, I'm dead, and if I reach that key, I'm going to die. And I didn't know the key was there, but I couldn't go left. It wasn't safe. I just would have been lit up.
Okay. If you ran that scenario again, what would you do different?
I wouldn't want to confront the shooter if I could help it, but I was thinking some sort of distraction, and if 2 of us couldn't get out, I thought we were going to die opening the door.
Yeah.
So if I had thrown the object and then 2 of us could fork him, maybe that might have been a better chance for survival. Maybe one of us would get out of it okay. But if I knew where the key was and how I could mess with the door pad, I would have done that when I was there.
How about yourself?
I mean, yeah, I wish I was a bit more quick on my feet, really.
Next was Kali fighter Nick and mixed martial arts fighter Mitch.
Run. And we're going to shoot up. Coming towards me. Come on, back. I found the key. Behind you. Where are you? You down? No. Where is he? I'm down. Yep. Got me. Where's the rod?
Nick was able to successfully locate the keys. However, he was eliminated soon after finding them. This places him underneath Nate on the scoreboard. Mitch, on the other hand, managed to pick up an improvised weapon, track and evade the shooter, and insert a key in the exit door. However, he was eliminated in his attempt to attack the shooter. This performance has placed Mitch in the new second place.
Gentlemen, how did that scenario go for you?
I wished we survived it.
I mean, look, I think we had a solid game plan to begin with.
Before we go too deep into that, tell me about the scene.
Active shooter scenario, effectively.
Yeah? So you came in, you stood around, minding your own business.
Came down, just chilling at them all, as you do, and then next thing you know, a gunman walks in and guns down 2 innocent people.
So your first response to that?
Run.
Yeah.
Escape, try to escape, find cover.
Get away from the noise,
yes.
Escape and evade, but the entrance that we came through was locked, so we only had one exit.
And you knew this existed, yeah?
We saw where he came from, so we knew it had to exist.
Excellent.
At some point.
Who's the first person to get to the exit and have a look at it and spot the lock on it?
I found the key. I noticed the attacker was going for him, so I evaded the other side when I found the key. But when I found the key, I got shot.
So you managed to recover the key off him, didn't you?
Managed to recover the key.
Off his body, off his still warm body.
Yep, was able to escape and evade, get to the door. However, just the dexterity
in
the gloves, which is
You're
realistic.
probably going to experience that, aren't you?
Yeah, fine motor skills are going to deteriorate under high stress. And there's multiple keys.
You left the key in it, didn't you? Or you left the key by
because I heard him coming. As I was looking.
You're lucky you didn't put it back in his pocket, aren't you?
And then as soon as I heard him coming, because I heard the shots, got moving. Yep.
So you played a bit of cat and mouse, and then you got cornered. And
yep, I was hoping to brain him, but unfortunately he was onto my caper, and he came around.
Yep.
Bobbed when I should have weaved.
So if you had to do that scenario again, would you change anything? Would you do anything different?
Oh, look, I think it was all in all, it was a fairly solid plan. It's just that communication can be better.
There's no guarantees for a scenario like that, is there?
No, there really isn't. It really should happen scenario.
Just out of courtesy, they didn't light you up, isn't it, basically?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I begged and pleaded in the corner. It's a real thing.
That's what does.
Yes, that's it.
I don't think it was good chances taking a guy with a gun.
You know what, lads? That was a good effort, wasn't it? Yeah, nice one.
Thank you, sir.
See you later.
Government has a similar approach to Australia and the UK with the Run, Hide, Fight initiative. The only difference is the fight rather than to tell, which encourages trying to incapacitate the attacker through whatever means is necessary with aggression and utilizing any improvised weapons to increase your chances of success. There is also a directive at the bottom to call authorities when it is safe to do so. We recommend looking at your government bodies for localized advice.
Didn't even know you were there.
Had the keys too. Oh, did you? I didn't know you had them. I was over at the padlock. I ditched my phone because they started ringing us. Yeah. I'll go grab it. Fucking hell.
Dylan successfully evaded the shooter while tracking his movements, making it to the exit door, but Adrian had already found the key. Adrian found an improvised weapon and used cover effectively. He tracked the shooter's movement and successfully incapacitated him, leading to the survival of both players, as they were the only two to escape or incapacitate the shooter. Dylan and Adrian had the best performance. This left Nate with 1 point, Dylan with 2 points, and Adrian with 3 points for not only taking out the attacker, but making escape possible for both himself and Dylan.
So gents, how was that for you? What did you see when you first walked in?
Well, I saw a few civilians just walking around. Not too long after that, when the shooter came in, just started popping off shots.
What was your initial reaction to that?
Cover, take cover, get away, evade him as much as possible, try and find places to hide, weapons to use.
How about yourself, Dylan? What did you see?
Yeah, people getting shot and me shitting bricks.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything hit the fan quite quickly.
Just another Monday, yeah?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
We had a plan, didn't go to plan.
What kind of plan was it? Tell me what the plan was.
So we have 2 phones. The plan was once we found the keys, we'd hide one of the phones somewhere else, call that phone to draw the shooter to that phone and give us time to get out.
Was the other phone on silent then?
No, both.
So what
both
happens if your mum had called you at that time? So she would have done to you what you were going to do to the bad guy, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that happened. That ended up
didn't
happening.
Happen, actually.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I was running around thinking, why is he calling me?
I thought the
same.
same.
Someone's trying to call me.
I thought the same. I panicked when my phone started ringing, ran to the back, ditched it, tossed the phone because I didn't want to bring it to my attention. I thought, well, at least that's in play.
Phone's on silent maybe, eh?
Maybe.
Yeah, first, turn it off.
Turn it off, yep.
Save it. Anyway, so what did you do from there?
Look for the keys.
Yep.
Didn't know what the keys looked like.
So you knew there was an exit?
Knew there was an exit. I could see the exit sign. I could see that there was a padlock there too, which obviously required a key. Didn't know what the key looked like. I was trying to evade the shooter, but also follow his tracks to try and see where he's dropped it. When I did find the keys, there was 5 different sets of keys on the keychain, so it wasn't going to be a case of just unlock and get out. Tried the first key, I saw the shooter coming, so the next thing for me was to hide, select the next key. But by that point...
You got lucky with your hiding spot, didn't you?
Yeah, by that point...
You turned left rather than right. Ooh.
Yeah, by that point it was either I had the second key in my hand and I had the opportunity to jump him like I did, and that's the opportunity that I took.
Perfect, yeah. While you were hiding at the back.
Yeah.
So you send your boy in there first, yeah? Nice one.
I was trying to keep tracks on the shooter the whole time, trying to find the keys as well. I didn't realise Adrian had the keys.
Okay,
so.
Great effort, guys.
Thank you.
See you on the next one.
That's good.
Hold on. You gotta.
Why move?
You gotta die! Okay, mate.